Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Do the drips have you down? Then let the professionals at Swink Roofing Company take care of that leaky roof. Swink Roofing is family owned and operated with over today with your roofing needs and tell them the BengeBuster Show sent you. Ladies and gentlemen, from the studios and the wrestling capital of the South, it's another exciting edition of the BengeBuster Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BengeBuster Show. I'm so excited about this week's show. We've got a really great tag team that's going to be on the show this week. I'm talking about none other than Viva Las Amish. Those guys are tearing up the independent wrestling scene, and we're going to have them on in just a little bit. And fans, this week I don't have our co-host Tim Blaze on. He is on location getting a major story. And that will be posted next week on next week's show. But fans, I am so excited, like I said, about having Viva Las Amish on. And without further ado, let's bring those guys on. All right, fans, we are here with Viva Las Amish. Guys, how are you?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing great. I know I had you guys on the show last year on one of the first few episodes I'd done, and I hope I've got a little better since then. But talk about getting better, man. I don't think there's any other team, and I ain't saying this because you guys in front of me. I'm just saying this because of the things that I see on Facebook. There cannot be any other independent wrestling tag team, singles wrestlers, or whatever gimmick, whatever you want to call it. There's definitely not anybody as innovative as you guys are.
Well, man, we appreciate that. That's what we strive for, man. We just try to, do the most extra thing for whatever we're doing in this business.
And have fun.
Yeah, and have fun as well. Everything we do is fun, and just the stuff you see on the internet it's wild and crazy sometimes, and funny and silly, but it's what we like to do, entertain.
Yeah, and man, I definitely enjoy it. I mean, I think it's each week, whenever you guys will send me a link and say check out this video, and then I'll watch it. I'm like, oh my God, how can they top that? And then you guys top it the next time. It's so amazing.
And it's just, man, these ideas just pop up. Really, like we'll all just be hanging out and talking about different matches and different stuff. And then when it comes to promos, like when promoters hit us up for wanting promos for their show, we're just like, well, like especially like if we've never been there before too, we try to make it well known to promote the show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like I said, whenever I see that, it just blows me away. I'm like, man, these guys have really really got it together. And it looks so professionally shot, and then I like it sometimes whenever you guys go into like public places. It blows me away because I'm like, those guys, listen, promoters out there, if you guys aren't booking the Viva Las Amish, you're not doing your show justice. That's for dang sure.
Well, man, we appreciate that very kindly, man.
Now,
It's
mhm.
I was just about to say, like, going into different places it can get kind of nerve wracking sometimes.
Kind of an adventure.
But yeah, it gives you a rush, and you're just like, this is what I do for this business, and you just keep doing it.
Right, exactly. And like one of the cool things about that about doing these great over the top promos, I believe that definitely helps get you guys on the map and gets promoters interested, because I see, I mean, you guys are not just wrestling, here in North Carolina or South Carolina or Virginia, Tennessee. Like you guys are taking some pretty long road trips, right?
Oh, for sure. We're a few weeks ago we were in Atlanta, and we'll be back in a couple weeks, or outside of Atlanta, and then we're headed to Delaware here in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
On February 29th. I mean, we're
traveling a little bit,
getting up close to Amish country.
Hey, going back home, right?
I never worked in Virginia yet.
Man,
that is true.
I have to tell you guys a funny story. I was over this past weekend. My son he's been on my case for weeks. Dad, I want to see snow. Dad, I want to see snow. He's 5 years old, and I'm like, William, we're in North Carolina, son. It ain't gonna snow. It's gonna snow on Friday like it did this past week. It snows like crazy Friday, but doesn't stick. And then on Monday, it's 75 or 73 degrees here in Charlotte. Crazy weather. But so over the weekend, I said, after on Saturday afternoon, we'll load the car up and we'll go looking for snow. So that's what we do. Me and him and my wife, we get in the car and we take off, and we're driving up to Boone. And as I'm coming through Lenore, there's about a stretch of maybe about 5 to 6 miles, and everywhere you look are these signs for Amish furniture, Amish this, Amish that, and I'm like, man, the Amish outlaws are everywhere. They're all over. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of cool, and we did find snow, and we had a good time. But man, getting back to you guys, like the Viva Las Amish gimmick has got so many layers to it. You guys have the great promos. You got the believable looking outfits and the beards and everything. But I have to say the most intricate part of this gimmick has got to be Betsy, correct?
Oh, for yes. Sure. Let's be honest. Betsy's the real star here. We just show up with her.
Right. Betsy's.
They book the chicken.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It almost makes you feel like prostitutes. Like everybody's booking the cock, right? Had to sneak that one in there. But seriously though, Betsy's over too. Like when you guys go to shows, do like the kids and the fans, they always want to have their picture made with Betsy.
Right, yeah, yes.
For sure.
They're always buying her promo pic too.
See?
Saturday night, we had the whole crowd was chanting for Betsy.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. Now tell us about Betsy. How old is she, or do you guys know?
She'll be a year in April.
Yeah, she's
okay.
About a year old. She's an Australope chicken.
Yeah, and she's been everywhere with us. We take her on every trip, no matter the distance. Either like we've taken her to Delaware before and to Georgia. She's very, she's calm. She's good and calm sometimes, but sometimes, you'll get her out and she'll just be a little anxious.
Right.
New surroundings. But other than that, she's a great chicken.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember one of the first shows that I actually worked with you guys. And Danny, you and I teamed up. Horrible show, but we were there, and we had a great time. But I remember that was the first time that I got to meet Betsy, and fast forward to today. I knew that night that this the Viva Las Amish gimmick was going to go somewhere, because I was noticing. And I ain't trying to put us over because we're talking here, but and the fact that in that building there was only just a few other people that should have been in that squared area that we were in, but the crowd was like I thought a few times they were going to come into the ring and attack us because you guys had so much heat. I was just there hanging out and having a good time, but man, you guys were really tearing it down, and the fans were just livid,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We've had a few more of those. Actually, just was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
We were in Rockingham, man, and we got so much heat. Like after we got, after we got done with our match and went to the back, I went to go walk to my car or to Jeff's car, and one of the workers stopped us, and he was just like, "No, you guys can't go out there right now." We're like, "Why?" He's like, "There's like 4 people standing outside the door, and they're wanting to beat the living crap out of you."
Oh no.
Yeah, man. It was just a couple weeks
That's
ago.
how we know we did our job.
And then maybe like a month or so ago, we were in Georgia, and I didn't even know it happened. If I knew it happened, the guy probably would have got his face rocked. But it was after a match. I was sitting in the corner taking my boots off, and one of the workers come over there, and he was just like, "Hey, what did you say to those fans out there?" And I was like, "Nothing. I didn't say anything, too bad or offensive or anything." He was like, "Well, did you not see that guy just trying to come in the locker room and fight you?" And I was like, "No, I was over here taking my boots off."
I came back through the curtain.
Yeah, the guy come in the locker room through the curtain and was looking for me, trying to fight me.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing.
Is he?
Yeah, for sure. It reminds me of when I first started wrestling. I remember I was in a little country town, and yeah, I was about to say that a lot of you fans out there listening, if you ever have the opportunity to go to a little small country town wrestling event, then I highly recommend it, because you're going to see some stuff that you probably wish you could unsee. And
Absolutely.
but more importantly, you're going to see some really diehard wrestling fans that get into every single match, and guys like Viva Las Amish and Terrific Tony and the guys that know how to turn up the heat. Man, sometimes we barely escape the building with our life, because the fans are just, they love their heroes, and they hate their villains, and they do it with a passion,
For sure.
Yeah, there's definitely been a few times like after shows, I'll pull my hood up and walk out to the car and be like, "All right, hurry up, let's get out of here."
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
You just got to go because they go nuts over it. I had put on the Binge Buster Facebook page a couple of weeks ago about some of the craziest things that people has ever seen at a pro wrestling show, and I got a few of them. But what do you think is, from each one of you guys, what is the craziest thing that you've ever saw at a wrestling show?
Like just any wrestling show?
Yeah, any wrestling show that either you've been booked at or you went to see, but you seen something really crazy happen, in the crowd or backstage or whatever. But what do you think is the craziest thing that each one of you guys have saw?
I mean, I got a pretty crazy story that I can tell you.
Okay.
It's something that I done actually. We were working these guys in Mount Airy, and they were they were religious, and they wanted to pray before the match.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, and they was just like, "Hey, do you mind praying with us?" And I was like, "Sure." Well, I actually had to use the bathroom at that time, and I was on my way to the bathroom when they asked, but we stopped and prayed. And as they were praying, they were one of them was on their knees. Everybody had their head bowed. Yeah, I let one slip. It was louder than I thought it was going to be. And it was pretty embarrassing. That's probably the most embarrassing story of not only my life but wrestling related as well.
Oh,
And, like,
right
even-
before we walked out the curtain.
Yeah, I was literally going to use the bathroom, and then we were the next match up, and like even after our match, there was like, dude, that was so much fun. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still sorry I farted during your prayer.
Well, you know, talking about that, I had that kind of happen to me a couple weeks ago. I was grocery shopping for my mom, and I'm walking down the aisle, and on the aisle, there's nobody. It's early in the morning, so there's not very many people at the food line, and so I'm walking down the soup aisle. So in food line, on one side is all the soups and the canned meats and all that, and then on the other side is like canned peaches and fruits and things like that. So I was headed down to get my mother a can of peaches. And so as I'm walking down the aisle, I see this woman and her kid. Her kid's probably about 2 years old. So I'm like, okay, there's, whatever. I'm walking down the aisle, and I bend down. I'm trying to find the peaches. And guys, I hear the loudest fart I've ever heard in my entire life. And I thought for a second, did I do that? And as I turn around, the lady looks at me and looks at me straight faced, no smile, no red face, just as straight as I'm talking to you right now. And all she says is, "Damn, my bad." And dude,
Man,
if that would, and I tell everybody, hey, if that was me, if that had been me, and I had my kid with me, I'd been like, "William, what'd you do that for?" You know what I mean?
yeah.
But no, she owned
Blame
it.
it on the kid.
She owned it and took pride in it and said, "Damn, my bad." And I thought it was funny because to look at her, she didn't look like the kind of person that would have farted. And then instead of saying "excuse me," she says, "Damn, my bad." And so I think I might get that put on a T-shirt. It'd be pretty funny. Have like somebody farting with a little smoke coming out the back, and it says "Damn, my bad." So a lot of those, what a crappy
Blame
T-shirt,
the kid
right?
too.
But
Man.
but yeah, that's so farting before the show. That's pretty funny. What about you other two guys? What's some funny stuff that you guys have saw?
So we were in a show one time, and I'm not going to name promotions or locations because to protect the innocent or whatever.
Right.
But they were playing everybody's walkouts off of YouTube, and so they went.
Man.
We walk out to
Hey,
the ring.
it wasn't everybody's.
That's right. We had a flash drive. Always bring a flash drive, kids. And
I always bring a flash drive.
we made our entrance, and we're waiting in the ring, trying to get heat, whatever. And they go to hit. They cut the lights off and turn the entranceway lights on and hit the smoke and go to play the music. And if your loved one is suffering from mesothelioma, like,
Oh no! Yeah, you never play from the YouTube videos, all the stupid commercials that pop up.
it, like,
like YouTube. You know how the ads pop up?
it
Yeah.
just, like, killed it. They were playing it on YouTube, and it just killed the just like the suspense, and then all of a sudden, like, call us, the structured settlement, like.
I'll tell you something crazy I saw at a show one time. Now these are boob stories, okay? Now before you listeners at home get excited, no, this is not a Rizat story. This is This is two disgusting boob stories. I got to tell you that happened at a show two different shows. So I'm at one show, okay, and there is this female on the front row with her newborn baby. I don't know, baby's a few months old, whatever. But she's a rather large lady, and so I'm in a tag match, and as I'm on the apron, I look over to gaze at the crowd, and the referee says, "Holy crap!" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "That lady's boob just hit the floor." And I said, "What?" And I look over my shoulder, and this lady is like bending over. Now think about this for a second. She's sitting in a chair, regular old metal folding chair, and and you guys do this at home. You're sitting in a chair, and say you're watching television, whatever. So she's watching wrestling. So she bends over the chair to bend down to pick up the baby bottle that she had set down because now the baby's ready to eat again. And when she bends over to pick up that baby bottle, her boob hit the floor.
Oh,
That's how big it was.
The boobies hit the floor.
Oh man, yeah. And you said it was funny because a minute that happened, I look over and one of the other guys, I won't say his name because I don't want to kayfabe him, but he started singing the song "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." Well, he started singing "Let the Boobies Hit the Floor," and we forgot the spots, we forgot where we was going next. It was a big cluster, and all we could do was laugh. And then we get to the back, and the promoter's like, "Guys, what happened out there?" We're like, "Dude, we saw the grossest thing ever in our entire life. We saw a woman's boob hit the floor." And he says, "What, she fell out of her chair?" "No, she just bent over and a boob hit the floor. It's her right there, look." And he looks out and he goes, "Oh, dear God." But it was so funny. And then my other boob story, I'm wrestling at this show, and again, I'm on it seems like when I'm on the apron, I see all the crazy stuff. But I'm on the apron waiting to get tagged back in, and I glance over my shoulder, and my wife, which at the time was my girlfriend, is on the front row, and she's pointing across, to the other way. And I look over, and as I look over, there's this woman, and she's got, double D's probably, but she is using her boobs as a table to eat her nachos. She has her little nacho cheese cup it's like right between her cleavage, and she's dipping her nachos in this nacho cheese dip that's stuck in her cleavage. And I kept looking. I couldn't stop looking, because I was like, holy. And I look over at my girlfriend, my wife, and she's looking at me and she's like, "Do you like what you see?" And I'm like, "No, I'm about to throw up." But it's like one of those things, it's like a train wreck. You don't want to keep looking, but you can't help it.
Man.
So that's a couple of my crazy things. But man, I'm telling you, at wrestling shows, you just never know what you're going to see.
Oh, no.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
So now, I know you guys have tons of bookings for this year.
Of course. Yes.
So and you guys are going to where are you guys going to in a couple of weeks? Idaho, right?
We've
No, yeah. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. No, Idaho. Okay.
No, Idaho.
We got Pelham this coming Saturday, Pelham, North Carolina,
and that's for Pure Pro Wrestling, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's a great company. I used to do a lot of shows with them, and man, to talk about and earlier, a few minutes ago, we were talking about crowds that small town crowds that go nuts. Man, is it not fun to get heat in that little building there in Pelham?
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
It is amazing. It's definitely it's a good crowd, and plus everyone in the back is awesome.
Yeah. And one of the things I remember the most about going and working for Pure Pro Wrestling is no matter if I work there every show or I'm gone for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, every time I come back, I have so much heat. All I got to do is walk through the curtain, and man, the crowd's already on me because they just remember how much they hate me. Hated me before when I was there. So all you got to do is just get on them one time, man, and that's it. You're done, and they're gonna hate you for life.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were there. I think at the beginning of January or like mid-January. And it was pretty fun. We had actually back to the crazy story part in Pelham. I don't know if this guy, if he had problems or issues, maybe, I'm not sure, but he comes up and lays his hands on our chicken while Jebediah is.
That's it's an older black gentleman, right?
No, it was
okay.
It was a younger guy,
and he kept.
Is he real tall?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I bet he was talking about. He was cool.
Yeah. The man, let me tell you, the black guy, I love him. He can't talk, but man, he can and give you the fist, and man, he makes your job as a heel so easy.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. I think I seen him. Yeah, get in my face at one point.
I'll tell you a funny story about him. I'm up there one night and we're doing a little tag, and I used the gimmick knucks to knock somebody out, and get the knucks, and before I use him, I show him to everybody, and boy, he's going crazy. Yeah, he's going nuts, right? And and he's like about to come in the ring, and I told the ref, I'm like, hey, is that guy going to come in the ring? He goes, you better hope not. If he does, he's whipping your ass. I'm like, you're telling me? but man, it was that guy is just so amazing. All the fans that there in Pelham are just amazing people. They really love their wrestling. They get into it. And I'm like you guys. I enjoy working at Pure Pro.
We do too, man. And we've only been there one time, and they keep wanting us to come back, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, the promoter there, he's a super nice guy. He knows his stuff.
Love me.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. It's awesome. So you guys got Pure Pro this week. What's some other shows that you guys have coming up?
Peach State Wrestling Alliance on the 15th. That's in Villa Rica, Georgia.
It's in Bremen.
Oh, Bremen. Sorry,
Bremen, Georgia.
Okay.
And then
we got Wrestling with Purpose in Pembroke on February 28th. Then the very next day, we're going to Houston, Delaware.
Yeah, right after Pembroke.
Yep, so we got a double shot in there.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
A lot of driving, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Well, let me interrupt you guys just a second. Well, I think one of the things that a lot of independent wrestlers don't understand is it's easy to get over in your hometown because it's your family, your friends, people that know you.
Yeah.
But when you start traveling to like Georgia and Delaware and Pembroke and all these places that are away from where you live, so the people you see there don't have a clue who you are. But once you get there and you get over, not only are you getting experience working with different people because you're not working with the same local yokels, but you're cutting your teeth. And if the time comes and you get called to go work on the big stage, you already know how to travel. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, I know it sounds crazy, but there's so many wrestlers on the independent circuit that have no clue what it's like to travel and to wrestle outside your little hometown heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of shows, right after Houston, Delaware, on March 6th, we have that show in Matthews that you guys are going to be podcasting live from.
Yes. That is March the 6th. That's a Friday night. And it's in Matthews. What's the venue there in Matthews?
It's called the Cruise Recreation Center.
Cruise Recreation Center. And now fans that are wanting to come to this event, can they buy tickets online or you buy tickets at the door?
You can buy tickets online at and tickets are $5 for adults and $2 for children.
5 and 2. I'm telling you can't beat that. I mean, that right there is great family entertainment, and you're not paying these crazy, outrageous 60, 70, 80, whatever tickets, to go.
Yep. Doors open at 6 and bell time's at 6:30.
And who are some of the stars that we can see on this big show?
You can see Cowboy Cool J, Ethan Alexander Sharp, good old Buddy Flowers, Viva Las Amish. We got terrific Tony Bench.
Yeah, old
we
TV's
got
booked
AJ.
on this.
Who else is on it? Yep, Trey G's going to be on it.
And the
we got, let's see, we got Snooty, Eric Royal, Court Montgomery, Starboy, Nick Richards, Michael McAllister. Yep, Bit Don.
I mean, it's
pretty full card.
That's gonna say that's a loaded card right there.
Yep.
It's really and the fact that the fans are definitely going to get their money's worth. I mean, $5.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
you can't beat that, fans, and it's definitely going to be a great wholesome family entertainment show. And the best part is, some of you people that don't know what I look like, you hear my voice all the time. Well, I'm going to be there doing a live podcast, and it could be 1 star, it could be several stars. Heck, who knows? The whole crew might be on the podcast. You don't know, but if you want to know, you're going to have to buy that $5 ticket and come to the big show March the 6th there in Matthews, North Carolina.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show, and taking time out of your busy wrestling schedule to come on the Binge Buster show. But it's always a pleasure getting to hang with you guys, and hopefully we'll all be on another show together soon. I know. Crazy thing, I was so disappointed when I work a lot with NAWA, and so I'm all excited. I got to get my Viva Las Amish guys up there, and lo and behold, the day that you guys can come, I'm down south hanging out with Mickey Mouse. So I missed you guys.
Oh man. Oh yeah, we'll be there on the 23rd of February.
Yes. For their Sunday tapings. Whenever.
Oh yeah. Now that's February 23rd, right?
Yes.
Yeah, February 23rd, fans. That's going to be in Morganton, North Carolina, at the Burke County Fairgrounds, and I believe tickets for that's only $5 as well. And NAWA is a, and I'm not saying this just because I work there, but they are definitely a great company. Very old school mixed with a little bit of new school. I mean, you definitely get everything. They have female wrestlers. They have the old school guys. They got new guys. They got everything in between. And and now, for $5 you can come and be a part of this TV tape. And I was at the last one, guys, and we were there. Man, it was like I had to wrestle like 4 times, and that's the most I've wrestled in a long time. And so
especially one day.
Yeah, in one day, man. And by the time I got back home, man, my back was hurting, my legs were hurting, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the matches turned out on TV. And I'm looking forward to being able now to know you guys are there. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there, and also I think the NAWA's got a big show coming up, the Bunkhouse Stampede. I think that's going to be March the 7th, which is the day after you get the big show there in Matthews. So a lot of wrestling around North Carolina, and Viva Las Amish is a huge part of that. 9 times out of 10, if there's a wrestling event here around anywhere, Viva Las Amish is going to be there. And as far as finding out where you guys are at, where can the fans find out where they can see Viva Las Amish?
You can go on our Facebook page, Viva Las Amish. Betsy has her own Facebook page, Betsy the Chicken. And then
we got Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, we're also on Twitter and Instagram. All over the place, even though we're Amish and don't know how to use the internet.
Yes.
That's right. Hey, speaking of that, one of the I gotta tell you this. One of my favorite vignettes that you guys filmed was when when you guys drank the instead of drinking the alcohol, you drank the cough syrup, and you was passed. I love that. I was like, oh man, I was.
We didn't get to pay that one off.
I know. I was waiting for you. Like I knew in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this is what's gonna happen. He's gonna wake up, and he's gonna know how to use the internet or something. Something cool. I wasn't sure how it was gonna turn out. I was excited, but then I was disappointed when I heard it. It got kayfabed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's always another chance to bring it back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
with all the crazy ideas we get for our promos,
I'm telling you,
what could happen in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Well, guys, thanks again for coming on the show. I appreciate you guys coming on, and guys, take it easy, and we'll see you next time.
Later, man.
All right, thank you.
Want to get your event or business advertised around the world? Then let the Binge Buster Show advertise for you. We offer a weekly show that is broadcast over all major podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and much more. We offer 5 levels of advertising to fit any budget. So don't hesitate. Let the Binge Buster Show work for you. For information, contact us on our Facebook page at The Binge Buster Show. We look forward to helping you and your business grow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this edition of The Binge Buster Show. Make sure you go like us on our Facebook page. Give us a review. Tell us how much you enjoy this show. And make sure you download each and exciting edition on your favorite podcast platform.